Florida, so I figured I'd get busy. I would have started filming sooner, but the rain was so heavy on this tin can roof, you wouldn't be able to hear me. So check this out. We've got this is the bearing kit. I can't remember if it's got a sleeve, if it's got shims on the pinion, but if it's got shims, we'll reuse the shims, and then if it needs a sleeve, I've got a sleeve there. Here's the pin kit. I got one broken pin on the locker, so I'm going to redo that also. And might as well, since we've got it all, might as well put carrier bearings in there also, new seals. But basically, this is what we're looking at. The seal leaks, and look at all that slop. And it's not that the shims are wrong or the sleeve is compressed, because I mean this thing is tight. So basically the bearing is shot. And so we're going to do the pinion bearing. We noticed this when we were working on the front suspension and looking at the long spring suspension system. And this is the front carrier. And I don't know if you can see it, there's the locker. The locker's in there. But I've got one broken pin out of the 4. Got a kit to put in there. You know, truthfully, the issue with the bearing was probably years ago when we went 4-wheeling and mudding it, probably filled with swamp water, and we didn't change it out in time, and the pinion bearing went bad. So chances are carrier bearings are getting on their way out also. So we'll pull all this apart, slap it in, put it back together. Like I said in my other videos, it goes pretty quick when you're just changing out bearings. You're gonna be looking at the shims on each side and on the pinion. Just duplicate that, and 99% of the time it comes out the way it's supposed to, because the shims are to compensate for variations in the casting of the carrier housing, not in the differential. Okay, the differential is machined to exact specs. It's usually right on all the time. So we'll do that. And like I said in my other videos, it took me 2 hours to get everything out of the axle housing. It'll probably take me an hour to put the new bearings in, slap it together, and then another 2 hours to put everything back together. We dug into it. Might as well do the brakes while I'm in there and re-lube the universal joints and the front axle shafts. Might as well do it now, right? Instead of having to tear into it another year or two down the road. All right, we're making progress. What is that? Man, I gotta get this place picked up. Okay, so got the axle shafts, everything pulled out. I'm gonna go ahead and rip that carrier out. There's 4 3/4 inch bolts. Guess they're probably half 16s or whatever. And then that all will move out, and I've got to keep track of which bearing goes on which side. No, I don't, actually, because I'm replacing those. So I'm going to go ahead and yank that out, and I'll film it. Yeah. We'll take and put this on the shelf. Alright, so we've got our super cool tool that separates these bearings without destroying them. And looky here. Let's see if I can do this now. Look at that. Bam! Look at that. Alright, so what we have is we got shim here. That's all of them, there's none there. And then there's some shims right here. So we're gonna keep these separate, and because it's on the flange side of the ring gear, we're going to label them flange. That way we don't get them mixed up with the ring gear side, okay? Because theoretically, if we put all this back together with new bearings and shims, the same shims on each side, we'll be good to go. We'll be golden. Okay, dig it now. Alright, on this Dana 44, the cross pin is retained with a pin. So I'm going to get a punch. And I'm going to drive that out. That'll allows me to remove the cross pin, which will allow me to remove the locker in sections. Pull all that apart, place it with the new parts, put it all back together, put the pin back in, ring gear back on, then we'll press those bearings back on. Dig it! Alright, so I use heavy grease to hold everything together. Basically the springs have to be pulled in and out from this side, not from up here or from the top, but from that side. There's a little cup, so it allows you to do that. But notice this. It wasn't one pin that was broken, it was 3 out of 4. So good thing that I got in there. The gears look almost brand new. However, 3 out of 4 pins were broke, and that's obviously from hard use. Blowing up universal joints, pushing knuckles off the axle, etc., etc. So I'm surprised that it's hung in there. I mean, it was a $280 lock right that we put in 15 years ago. Notice also that on the cross pin I put some red Loctite on that locking pin. So this is all ready to go back together. I'm going to go ahead and put the ring gear on it and the bearings, and I'll get pictures of that. so after seeing all those broken pins, you know, 3 out of 4 broken pins, you got to ask yourself, okay, what's the value of a lunchbox locker such as this one versus a, you know, heavy duty locking differential that has the case and everything? Or what's the benefit over a selectable locker which gives you a whole case and you can turn it off and on as you need it? Well, you know, the thing is with this, it's approximately 40% of what a complete locker carrier would cost. And you know, I've always been one of those people that's like, hey, set your vehicle up the best that you can afford, go out and play with it, have fun. If you break it, that's when you bring it back, you reevaluate things and you fix it and make it better than it was before. So yes, for a young person that doesn't have a lot of money to spend, this is a great option. And you don't want to get caught up trying to buy the biggest and best of everything, right? Because I can't tell you how many times over the years that some person started, they got a Jeep, they got a 4-wheel drive, they decided, they went out with their friends, they had fun, and they're like, man, I need to get bigger tires. I need to get more gearing. Yes, those things are great. Go out, get a lift kit, put bigger tires on it. When you find out that you're limited because you don't have lockers, save up your money and put lockers in it. You know, and then you just keep upgrading, but you're having fun the whole time that you're doing it, right? But you don't want to go down that road where you pull your vehicle apart to put the lift kit on, to put the bigger tires on, and then some jackwagon on the internet goes, hey dude, you know, anything over 35-inch tires, man, you're going to need Dana 60s at least, or you're going to take and blow everything up. Man, you shouldn't even put, you know, those tires on that vehicle until you get Dana 60s, man. So the next thing you know, this thing is laying in parts in his garage while he's waiting on the Dana 60s to come in. So then he gets the Dana 60s to come in. He doesn't have the skills to put them in, so he's got to get his buddies to help him. He's got to try to figure things out. He's got to pay somebody else to do it. And then the next thing you know, he finds out, uh-oh, I need to get Dana 60 high steer steering. Another $2,500, $3,000, right? So before you know it, this poor guy has been accumulating parts that have been sitting in his garage. He hasn't gone 4-wheeling in years, and then finally he decides, hey, you know what? This is like a girlfriend that just cost me a lot of money and I don't get anything out of it, so I'm gonna sell it. So then he goes on Facebook and he posts up, hey, I've got this Jeep project, it's in pieces, I just want to get my money back, $12,000 or best offer. So then he sits on it and he gets embarrassed, and people call him up and they tell him there ain't no way I'm paying $12,000 for a bunch of parts on a Jeep that doesn't run. So after a while, he ends up giving it all away just to get it out of his garage because he's sick and tired of it, and he loses all that money. A year later, the poor person's driving down the road on a hot June day with the windows rolled up in his Toyota Prius with the little rainbow air freshener on the rear view mirror, and he's wearing non-gender cologne, and he's at a stoplight and he sees a Jeep and he looks in the rear view mirror and he goes, oh my God, what the hell happened to me? I don't even know who I am anymore. Don't let that happen to you. You don't want that to be you. Do things in small steps. Build your Jeep. Take it out, have fun, break it, bring it back, fix it better. Take it out, have fun, break it, fix it better, bring it back. Have fun. Just have fun. That's what it's all about. All right, so basically I finished up the install of the carrier back in with the rebuilt lunchbox locker, and I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the way it looked using the original shims. So I had to add 0.51 millimeter shims to bring the pinion out closer to the pinion closer out to the ring gear. And then because I moved it closer to the ring gear, I had to move the ring gear over to the passenger side 0.33 millimeter. Fortunately, you know, basically all you want to do when you're moving the ring gear in or out is, it was already running at one point in time, so basically you pull shims from the side that you want to move over to and you add them to the other side. That way your carrier bearing preload will remain the same. So we got all that done, got my caps torqued down, and so basically that is done. So I'm going to continue on and grease the front axle U-joints and put this baby back together. But basically this thing's finished up, and I want to put it back on the ground and drive it around some more, and then I'm going to bring it in here to do a exhaust swap. Check this out. I've got Flowmaster 80 series 2 in 2 out Camaro muffler and a universal 2.5 inch exhaust pipe kit. So basically about $130 for this and another $130 for the pipe, and I'll have a whole new exhaust system, because right now the old exhaust system has glass packs in it. They've been in the vehicle probably for about 15 years. They're doing okay, but they're starting to rust out. And unfortunately, when I took the body lift off the truck to get it a little bit lower, the one exhaust pipe that runs through there was touching the floor. It vibrated the whole truck, drove me crazy because I couldn't figure out what was causing it. Well, I was able to put a pry bar in there and move it away from the floor in order to get me by, but I want to do it right, so I'm going to take and put a 2.5 inch exhaust system in here after I get this thing up and running and play with it a little bit. But we'll film that also. So this should be the last part of the front axle, and I'll basically get this set up and posted on YouTube. Go Slab64.